Did you know your engineering team spends nearly 1/3 of their day writing documentation instead of developing? This silent productivity killer is costing you market share, delaying product launches, and eroding your competitive edge. Welcome, innovators. I'm Trauth Taylor, and this is the channel where you accelerate new product innovation and bring superior products to market faster and smarter than ever before. Today, we're diving into how AI-powered documentation tools are helping research and development and engineering teams cut documentation time by 75% and speed up product launches by 40%. Let's go. A recent survey by Gartner found that 47% of digital workers struggle to find information or data needed to effectively perform their jobs. According to the survey, the average number of applications that a desk worker, also referred to as a knowledge worker, that we use every day is 11, compared to just 6 applications back in 2019. A 2023 study confirmed knowledge management capabilities have a significant positive effect on innovation performance scores. Teams that capture and disseminate know-how effectively can use resources efficiently to be innovative, leading to higher quality outputs and lower costs. On the other hand, poor documentation or siloed knowledge often causes errors and waste. A survey conducted by APQC of 982 knowledge workers found that the average worker spends 2.8 hours every week looking for or requesting information to do their job. Another 1.7 hours each week seeking out the right people to answer questions and provide expertise. And finally, 1.7 hours a week providing duplicate information or repeating the same answers or updates to other people. There's another 2 hours a week that's spent recreating information and work that already exists somewhere else in the organization. In total, that's 8.2 hours or 20% of their time just searching or recreating information. An enormous productivity drain that robust knowledge systems can cut down dramatically. I like to step back and think about what this means. If your team is spending 1 out of every 4 hours on documentation instead of pushing the boundaries of innovation, that's not just an inconvenience. It's a serious competitive disadvantage. Companies that invest in centralized documentation and knowledge management drastically reduce waste, speed up problem solving, and lower their costs. And AI is making these tools more effective and efficient than ever before. So today we're going to explore how AI-powered documentation tools like Narratize are preserving knowledge and cutting documentation time from days to minutes. I'll walk you through the research, the numbers, and the real-world impact AI is having on research and development teams who want to move faster and free themselves from the burden of documentation. Let's start with the true cost of documentation bottlenecks. We've established the problem, right? Documentation drains time, delays innovation, slows down R&D cycles. So let's talk about how AI flips this equation, turning documentation from a bottleneck into a catalyst for faster innovation. Traditional documentation processes are manual, slow, fragmented. Engineers and researchers spend hours formatting reports and ensuring compliance, digging through past documents to find relevant insights, rewriting similar documents over and over for different stakeholders. AI eliminates these inefficiencies. Here's how. AI models trained on technical writing and innovation storytelling patterns can generate a superior first draft in seconds, based on just a few inputs. This means engineers no longer start from a blank page. AI handles the heavy lifting, and innovators refine it. A recent MIT study found that AI-assisted writing tools reduce documentation time by up to 75%, freeing up engineers for higher value work. Similarly, a team of researchers at the University of Central Florida studied engineers, scientists, and product managers' documentation work in Narratize, ChatGPT, and without any AI at all. What they found was pretty remarkable. Innovators using Narratize were successful generating strong documentation that passed leadership reviews 84% of the time, while those who used generic AI, like ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot, were only as successful as those who used no AI at all. In other words, they were 30% successful. Here's what I think is even more fascinating. The Narratize users spent a little more time on their documentation than those using ChatGPT or Copilot. However, not only were they more successful with Narratize, Users said the time they spent was focused on deeply thinking about their innovative work. As a narrative scientist, I was trained that rhetoric and writing is a form of thinking. If we replace the process of writing, in many ways, we risk replacing the work of thinking. With Narratize, we designed our AI with this in mind. We designed it to prompt our users to ask them helpful, meaningful questions to guide the product development decision-making process. Narratize prompts you, you answer it, and documentation from pitches to requirements to business cases are automatically generated. The user then can review it. And I just want to double down on how important it is to not take the thinking work out of AI-enabled workflows. Too many people just want AI to automate everything and replace human thought. We're designing in a different way. And the result is not just more success in terms of what's getting into the stage gate review process, but it's also more success in terms of teams spending time on the thing they're meant to be spending time on, which is innovation. So even though users spend a little more time in Narratize, it was time utilized on the best possible focus area, the new product concept itself, and its best way to succeed in the market. One product development engineer shared with me, it was much faster and more convenient. It enabled me to think about my project in a deeper way. The questions prompted me to question my project. And if I couldn't answer these few questions, it means I needed to seek more answers. Deloitte has some brilliant state of Gen AI in the enterprise reports. When they ask leaders how they want employees to reinvest the time that they're saving thanks to using AI, they all say one thing: we want our employees to be more innovative. So it's crucial that the solutions we deploy actually follow through on this promise to accelerate innovation. Let's look at intelligent summarization and compliance checking. AI doesn't just draft documents, it can extract critical insights from meeting notes, experiment logs, digital lab notebooks, and previous reports to ensure that key details are included in new outputs and analyses. It can also flag missing compliance elements and auto-format documents to meet regulatory requirements. The best tools are proactive agentic AI that asks for key information. Let's look at real-world impacts of R&D teams. Companies that have implemented AI-driven documentation tools like Narratize report staggering improvements. 4 times faster documentation cycles, meaning reports, patents, compliance docs, are ready in days, not weeks. Product launches accelerated by 40%, allowing teams to beat competitors to market. Teams report less frustration and more time spent on core innovation. And let's be clear, this is not about replacing human expertise. It's about enabling engineers and researchers to spend their time where it matters most, on discovery, problem solving, and innovation. So how does this actually work in practice? I want to walk you through a step-by-step example of how a research and development team used AI documentation to reclaim hours every single day and how you can do it too. We've talked about why AI-driven documentation is a game changer. Now let's actually look at how it works in an R&D setting. Imagine this scenario. A medical device company is developing a next-gen implantable sensor. Their R&D team is juggling a lot. Compliance reports from regulatory bodies like the FDA. Internal documentation to track design iterations. AI, the team's engineers were spending 8+ hours per week writing reports instead of testing prototypes. Manually compiling data from lab notebooks, emails, and meeting notes. Meanwhile, losing critical insights when knowledge wasn't properly documented. Now let's look at after AI. AI now generates first draft compliance reports in minutes, pulling structured insights directly from lab results and meeting transcripts. Engineers spend less time on documentation, which allows them to focus on problem solving. AI automatically tracks design iterations, ensuring that institutional knowledge isn't lost between teams. So what does all this mean for your team? If you're in biotech, semiconductors, aerospace, or any high-tech industry, the story is the same. Documentation is very likely slowing you down, and AI can help. I invite you to imagine what it would look like for your team to reclaim hours every day and stay on the same page throughout development cycles. And if you can relate to this, take a moment to share in the comment section below what's working for you, and then share this video with an innovation friend or a colleague who you feel like needs to be lifted up by the potential of this groundbreaking technology. All right, let's get into seamless AI integration, how it works in your existing workflows. Let's be honest, no R&D or innovation team wants to overhaul their entire process to implement a new tool. Your AI augmentation should seamlessly integrate into the tools you're already using. I'm going to share some of the ways that Narratize fits into existing workflows. Number one, we designed it to meet teams where they work. So you don't need to learn a new system or change your workflow. Narratize can integrate directly into your tools and platforms, such as Microsoft Teams, Confluence, and Slack. Narratize captures insights from team discussions and turns them into structured documentation and reports. Email and meeting transcripts, no more manual compiling of notes. Narratize grabs those key action items and insights and supports automatically updating the documentation as a result. Jira, Notion, and PLM systems. Narratize auto-generates summaries and compliance documentation based on real-time project updates. It can pull information from your PLM and provide richer context behind the goals, deadlines, and products that you're trying to ship through your PLM. One of the biggest documentation challenges is that teams don't always know what to capture, or they simply forget, or better yet, they're moving too fast to care to capture it. Narratize flips this problem on its head. Instead of engineers prompting the AI prompts them. So when an engineer logs a design change, the Narratize AI automatically asks for key details to ensure a complete report. This is one of my favorite use cases. After an ideation session, AI summarizes key decisions and then generates a structured report without extra effort. And during compliance reporting, the Narratize AI flags missing sections based on new regulatory requirements, which reduces risk and saves rework. All of this to say that the most important knowledge happening in your company is getting captured in real time without adding any extra work for your team. Let's talk about human oversight, accuracy, and compliance. Let's address a common concern. AI-generated documentation sounds great, but what about accuracy? That's where well-designed systems with human oversight comes in. AI is not replacing engineers. It's handling the repetitive, time-consuming parts of writing, while humans provide final validation and review. Narratize takes this a step further, though, by prioritizing transparency and interpretability. Here's how we ensure accuracy. We use domain-specific AI models trained on technical documentation standards. We give engineers and researchers full editorial control over AI-generated drafts. We automatically cross-reference past reports and compliance requirements to prevent errors. Here's what this means for your organization. Faster, more accurate documentation. AI does the heavy lifting and your team refines. No disruption to workflows. AI fits into your existing tools and processes. Knowledge is captured effortlessly. No more losing insights due to incomplete documentation. This is the future of research and development, and it's necessary for competitive advantage. Let's look at the impact of this and put it all in perspective. Before AI, this documentation process might have taken multiple workdays, if not longer. I spoke to some aerospace engineers, for example, who would spend months on pitches and proposals. And with Narratize, they're getting it done in minutes. This means your engineers can reclaim a significant portion of their time they can reallocate towards actual innovation. It means they're speeding up the knowledge transfer, ensuring critical insights aren't lost when they need to share it with other people or new employees. If your team spends hours every week on documentation, this is the moment to rethink how work gets done. With AI, you're not just speeding up reporting, you're actually accelerating innovation cycles themselves. So here's how to implement AI-driven documentation today without disrupting your team's productivity. Don't worry, you don't need to overhaul your processes to start seeing results. With platforms like Narratize, you can integrate AI-driven documentation into your workflows in 3 simple steps. Step 1, identify your biggest documentation pain points. Every R&D team has different documentation challenges. So start by asking some key questions. Where is documentation slowing us down the most? Is it compliance reports, design review notes, knowledge transfer? Then ask which teams are spending the most time on writing instead of actual innovation and development. Is this problem a little more common among our engineers, our product managers, our scientists, or compliance officers? How much time could we reclaim if AI handled first drafts and knowledge capture? And how much more of a delightful experience could that feel like? Talk to each of these stakeholders and ask them for their perspective. Let's do a reality check here. Most research and development teams underestimate how much time they spend on documentation until they start to measure it. So try tracking this for 1 week. You might be shocked at what you find. Step 2, pilot AI-powered documentation inside of a key workflow. Rather than overhauling everything at once, start in a high-impact area where AI can deliver fast results. Here's an example. You might try automating discovery documentation. So instead of manually writing up every pitch, proposal, and R&D presentation, you can use AI to auto-generate structured docs after ideation sessions or experiments. Teams using Narratize for discovery documentation, that fuzzy front end of innovation, cut discovery buy-in time by 80%, freeing up engineers for development work and R&D teams for even more discovery. Let's look at a second example where it's really smart for you to consider starting: compliance documentation. AI can instantly draft reports that meet regulatory standards, reducing time spent on compliance by 50 to 60%. In highly regulated industries like biotech and aerospace, this can shave months off of approval timelines. Here's another option though. How about streamlining knowledge transfer? AI can ensure that no insights get lost when teams transition between project phases. Once you've decided where to start, you can move to step 3, which is measuring impact and planning for scale-up. Once AI augmentation starts working in one area, let it expand. Some smart ideas here are to track time savings, of course. So how many hours are engineers reclaiming each week? Monitor documentation quality. Is the AI-generated content meeting compliance and internal standards? Then, once you've proven it, you can start scaling to other product teams across your entire portfolio. Within weeks, you'll see faster workflows, reduced documentation fatigue, and accelerated research and development cycles. Look, the best part is you can start these tests right now. Every hour your engineers are spending writing documentation is an hour that they're not spending developing breakthrough innovation concepts or research discoveries. Those hours add up to missed opportunities and delayed market entries for your best ideas. So the choice is simple. Continue letting documentation drain your R&D resources, or leverage AI to transform this necessary burden into a strategic advantage. Companies implementing Narratize aren't just saving time, they're fundamentally changing how innovation happens. They're bringing products to market faster, capturing critical knowledge effortlessly, and freeing their best minds to focus on what truly matters, solving nearly impossible problems. Don't let another week of innovation slip away to documentation overhead. If you want to talk with our team about ways to improve this, schedule a Narratize demo today and join the R&D teams who are already moving 4 times faster than their competitors. The future of innovation isn't necessarily about only working harder. It's about working smarter, and it starts now. If you love learning about the latest insights and tech for new product innovation, be sure to follow us and subscribe to this channel. Check out narratize.com, read our articles and state of the field reports, and try our AI for NPD platform. See you in the next one.